Hello, Miami. This is 305 Sports Now, your home podcast and channel for all things Miami sports related. I am Will, and I'm here to talk about National Signing Day as it's in the books. And Miami Hurricanes have signed, pretty much everybody they've wanted in this recruiting class, that has committed, obviously. And the Miami Hurricanes finished with a class rank of 7. Tomorrow, I will be discussing with you guys how I feel that it should be a top 5 class even without Cormani McLean. And I feel that the 7th ranking is a bit of a disrespect, to the Miami Hurricanes and their prospects, as they picked up. And I'll explain why, tomorrow, especially in reference to a couple players. Okay, so but I want to go over exactly where I feel about my favorite positions in which I felt we've totally upgraded on. All right, not to take away from the defensive back position, but I do think that where we really made our imprint, our stamp, is in the offensive line and in the linebacker core. All right, starting first with the offensive line, you can't say enough about Samson Okunola out of Thayer over Massachusetts. Okay, the pancake honcho, and of course the 5-star out of IMG, Francis Mauigoa. Right, those two individuals are going to revolutionize the offensive line for the Miami Hurricanes this upcoming season. I believe those guys are going to play a lot, if not even start, as well for the Canes, just because they're already play-in ready, as both those young men are pretty big individuals, and they're over 300 plus pounds, which is kind of like what Mario Cristobal is looking for within his offensive line. And we do know that for Mario Cristobal, it starts in the trenches. It starts with the O-line, and it starts with the D-line as well. So with guys like Mauigoa, with guys like Kinsler, Tinalau, all right, Okunola as well. The plug-in of a guy like Javion Cohen, out of Alabama, center Matt Lee coming out of UCF. The Miami Hurricanes should be greatly improved in the offensive line, which was a position which was of weakness based on injuries and also different kind of personnel as well, in terms of last year's performance. So the Miami Hurricanes offensive line should and shall be greatly improved. The running game should be better. Quarterback protection should be better. So we should expect better yards, per pass, and better average runs, and so on and so forth from line of scrimmage. So the offensive line is my favorite position that greatly improved. Coach Mirabal did a great job, being the primary recruiter in a lot of these cases, in particular with Mauigoa and also with Okunola as well. And Mario Cristobal, being an O-line guy, right, was able to convince these guys, to come to the U, and they would develop, they would develop at the college level and also end up playing at the pro level as well. Mario has put guys in the NFL, guys like Penei Sewell, Javon Holland, Kayvon Thibodeau. So I think the track record, a short track record, is really looking at Mario hasn't been coaching that long, especially in Power 5, right? Only coaching as a head coach at Oregon. FIU is a whole other animal, but as a head coach at Oregon, he's put some considerable names in the NFL already that are making an impact, at the National Football League. All right. Another position that I do like is the linebacker core. I do believe the linebacker core is also greatly improved. Again, the front four for the Miami Hurricanes is going to be pretty solid. The pass rush is going to be there, but I don't think Miami, even though they picked up some guys in the transfer portal, really got that nasty, incoming freshman that's a defensive tackle. All right, that like a LT type. All right, LT is going to be a junior this year. They didn't bring in an LT type, as a recruit. However, they did improve greatly in their defense in terms of their end position and their linebacker position. I'm gonna go with the linebacker position because I think that Charlie Strong did a great job in recruiting these guys and convincing them to come to the University of Miami. Right, you have guys like Raul Popo Aguirre out of Georgia, was born here out of Georgia. I mean, I've talked about the kid at nauseum. I've interviewed him on the show. The kid could flat out, tackle. He could stop the run. He could sack the quarterback. He could be in pass coverage. All right, and then we have also Bobby Washington as well out of Palmetto. A great fit also for this program. Could be a good rotational player coming in. Could be great on special teams as well. But I think he will see a lot of playing time. And I also want to talk about Malik Bryant. Malik Bryant is a guy that everybody wanted. I will emphasize more on him tomorrow when I go over, in regards to certain players. He's one of the players I'm talking about that I don't think got the proper star treatment from organizations like 247 On Three and rivals either. Malik Bryant already looks like he could play from day one. His body type, his size at 6'2", over 230 pounds. I was hearing about him today, on one of the local podcasts here, that he looks already like a linebacker that's been starting for a couple years for an SEC team. All right, Malik Bryant is a guy that could sack the quarterback. Malik Bryant is a guy that could tackle in space. Malik Bryant is a guy that could stop the run. He's a good guy in 4th and 1. He's a guy in 3rd and 1. He's a guy that could put his hand in the dirt. He's a guy who could come at you standing up. All right. So basically, Malik Bryant is a fine tool athlete that could go in there and be a contributor from day one for your football team, as well as Aguirre as well. All right. I think those two individuals, alongside Wesley Basaint, all right, will be a 3-headed monster for the Miami Hurricane linebacking core. The front seven is incredibly important. If your front seven is solid, I'm talking about on defense here. If your front seven is solid, your DBs look amazing, statistically speaking, because if you can wreak havoc, all right, on the quarterback, wreak havoc on the running game, your defensive backs could get interceptions, could pick up fumbles. All right, they could stay with their man, long enough, that looks statistically well. That in the sense that protection, that coverage doesn't break down because of the fact that the front seven is just getting there, whether it's getting at the quarterback or it's getting at the tackles at the running back by setting their edges as well and making plays when they need to be made. Well, the thing about this linebacker core that's come in, Washington and Malik Bryant and Raul Aguirre, is that there will be no issues with tackling. All right, these guys, all three of those individuals, are fine tacklers. Okay, they're very good at pursuing, wrapping, hitting, and taking guys down. Okay, you're not going to have the issues with tackling like we've had in years past with our linebacking core. A little more improved this year. I will say that Corey Flagg really did take a slight step up from when he was in the Manny Diaz regime or era in particular. But these guys coming in right now, Aguirre, Bryant, and Washington, and let's not forget, Francisco Mayagoa as well. These guys could all tackle. All right, these guys could all tackle. They're headhunters. They know where the ball is. They're ball hawks as well, and they won't make it easy for opposing offenses. Okay, so that's the thing that I really like about the recruiting that happened this during this session. All right, you had an emphasis on the offensive line and you had an emphasis on the front seven. Okay, that is very important for building a strong program and strong football teams. The Miami Hurricanes that won 5 national championships and competed for others both had very solid offensive lines and a very solid front seven. Okay, they call Penn State linebacker U. Let's not forget the Miami Hurricanes produce guys like Jesse Armstead, Michael Barrow, Dan Morgan, Ray Lewis, John Vilma, right? The Miami Hurricanes are not too far behind, all right, when it comes to the production of linebackers. So what I'm trying to say is that this breed of linebacker that's coming in is pretty much a representation of what the old school Miami Hurricanes were when it came to tackling, being great field generals, and basically knowing your assignments. They're very smart football players. Malik Bryant is already, enrolled. And basically, so is Bobby Washington and his brother Robbie, the wide receiver. They're already enrolled. They're already hitting the weights. They're already hitting the tackling dummies. They're already out there in Green Tree, okay? And I can't wait to see Raul, practice with his teammates as well once he graduates from Georgia and comes over to the U as well. All right, so that's pretty much what I want to say about the linebacking core. I'm truly excited of what I'm seeing, with the offensive line, and I'm truly excited of what I'm going to see, with the front seven, specifically the linebackers that are coming in and the edge rushers as well. The Canes this season are going to be very dependent on these freshmen to be ready to play when they're called upon, because Miami's record was really bad last year. I mean, we all know they went 5-7, didn't make a bowl game. It was a very disappointing first season for Mario Cristobal and the rest of the Miami Hurricane coaching staff, both offensively and defensively. Defense did have some spurts on several occasions, but nonetheless, it was a bad performance overall on both sides of the football. This season needs to be different. Miami needs to win between 7 and 8 games. All right. The schedule is a bit tougher this year as they're getting teams from the Atlantic that I do believe are better than teams that are, from the coastal as well, like teams like Boston College, Louisville, Clemson. They're coming in and they're going to play the Canes this year. So getting to 7 wins is not going to be as easy as it should have been last season. But Miami needs 7 wins, and it's going to be this freshman class that's coming in that's going to have to be able, to get there. one thing I like about, the incoming freshmen is that they're very confident and they're very bought in, to what Coach Cristobal is selling. To quote Raul Aguirre on Twitter, he said, "We're not just coming, we're coming for spots." All right. So these guys are competitive. They're no nonsense as well. And again, they're very intelligent football players. So I'm really excited to see this young freshman group go in, kick butt, and take names later. Okay. As it goes. I'm gonna leave it right here. Okay, I want to be straight and quick to the point. Again, I'm very satisfied with National Signing Day. The only thing that I'm not satisfied with, and it's understandable based upon not having an offensive coordinator and not having a wide receivers coach, plus the offense was just atrociously bad, last year, is that we don't have a wide receiver on the edge that can get separation. We got some good slot guys. Okay, we got Ray Joseph. We got Robbie Washington as well. That are going to contribute right away on this football team, but we didn't get that guy, that's a burner, that you could high point the ball and can make your offensive numbers look a lot better. We'll see what happens, after spring ball and stuff like that. There will be some more transfers. We'll see what we can get, as far as from the transfer portal goes. Until we get an OC, a quarterbacks coach, and a wide receivers coach, we won't be getting these players because these players want to know who they're playing for. Okay, it's very important for them as players to make sure that they are going to get the ball, thrown to them and help them get to the next level. Because in the end, yeah, these guys want to win, of course, but they also want to be drafted and go to the NFL, the next level, and make very good money, in the National Football League. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, I will be having another episode tomorrow. I will be giving you my perspective on what I think of the star system. I've been very disappointed this year in particular at the way some of the Canes players were treated by that star system. I'll give you my reasons why I think, regardless of, Cormani McClain not signing with the Canes, why Miami should have been a top 5 class. Okay. All right, everybody, if you like what you heard, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to 305 Sports Now. Once again, I am Will. Stay safe. God bless. See you soon, and go Canes.